What's going on, guys? My name's Max. I'm a bloke of average fitness trying to get to above average fitness, and today has been the first day of riding my new race bike for 2025. Now, I am extremely lucky to be working with Pinarello this year, and for those that are new to the channel, I was riding a Pinarello X1. That was the bike that I was doing a lot of my training on, that they gave me for a few months over the winter. And now, leading into the triathlon season, and with some of the things that I've got planned for the summer, I needed a bike that was a bit more racy, something that was a bit more aggressive and that could see me crushing some TT times. They've given me the Pinarello F5, which is what I'm riding now. Pinarello lineup works is their road bikes are split up into the F series and the X series. The X series is an endurance bike with varying levels of group sets and stuff like that as you go through the tiers, and the F series is their race bike. The F series is designed to be fast, it's designed to be raced. Basically, the bike is designed to be fast, that is it. This particular bike, the F5, sits in the middle of the F lineup. I'll go through some of the specs of this bike in a sec. So it's currently 6 o'clock in the evening. Beautiful spring evening. And today me and the guys actually went out and smashed 70k because I didn't want to make this video having not ridden the bike. I wanted to be able to speak on how it handles, you know, all of that stuff. First impressions after doing about 80k on it so far, this thing is quick. If you're thinking, Max, that looks very similar to the X1 that you had, you're right, it does look pretty similar. But there are a few differences about this bike that make it a little bit better for racing. First thing to note, this bike is a size 59, so it is a big bike. Then again, I am 6'3", so that makes sense. The bike comes with Shimano 105 Di2. This is the first time I've ever used electronic gears. I can safely say they make a monumental difference. This being the F series bike means that it has the F series race geometry. So the geometry of this bike is way more aggressive, puts you in a much more aero position, really sort of hunches you over, low front end. In the 80k that I've ridden today, I've definitely noticed a difference between the X1 and the F5. The X1, obviously being an endurance-based bike, was a lot more relaxed. The geometry was a lot more comfortable, and as I've said in that video, you know, it's a bike that you want to sit on all day and you'd have no problems. This bike, although it is still comfortable, it is a lot more aggressive. The position that it puts you in is much more of a racy position. So I would say if you're not the most flexible, this is something to take into consideration. The F series does put you in a much more aggressive position. That means that this bike goes fast. Now, the bike comes with a set of Fulcrum Racing 800 DB wheels, which are great wheels. You know, similar to the X1, they're bulletproof, they're aluminium. They are a little bit on the heavy side, so for that reason I have put on a set of Veta Lisio Ultras, which are 58mm deep. They're fully carbon spokes. They are absolutely rapid. Full carbon frame, full carbon wheels, 105 electronic group set. This thing is a weapon. Also in this colorway, I don't know if you can see, but basically I think it's called Aurora Blue. Pinarello logo is all blue there. It looks absolutely mega, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really want to get too technical because, you know, obviously I don't really feel like I'm qualified to talk on the science behind it, but what I can tell you is that this bike is rapid. Having never ridden an electronic group set, I wasn't really sure how big an impact it was going to have. You know, mechanical 105 is fantastic, never had any problems with it, and let me tell you, riding this bike, every single gear change is instant and it's so smooth. It is unbelievable. The other thing that I actually really prefer is climbing with 105. When you're climbing and you try and change down, I find that being out of the saddle and trying to shift this all the way in quite difficult, and like it sort of throws me off balance a bit. Now with electronic, obviously the shifter itself isn't moving. On electronic, it's just these two buttons here. So you have downshift here and upshift here, and they're literally just buttons. That's as far as it goes. Now that might sound like, oh, what does that matter? But basically when you're out the saddle, it's so much easier to change gear, I found. Now, I don't know if that's an intentional thing, I don't know if anyone else feels that, that might just be anecdotal to me, but that's made a massive difference for me. And the feeling of the bike, absolutely just so beyond grateful to be working with Pinarello this year as a small creator. For them to give me this to race on this year, I am so happy. And also, when I say race, you know, I'm not racing against anyone else. The thing that I love about triathlon is that I'm racing against myself. But that being said, you know, my goal this year is to set a time in the Olympic distance and then go out again and smash it. And I think on a bike like this, I think I'll be able to do that. Right, enough of the waffle. I think it's about time I get on this bike and I'll tell you exactly how it feels to ride. Now, if you watched the video I did on the Pinarello X1, coming from an aero bike previously, I mentioned how it felt a lot less aggressive and it didn't quite have that oomph that I was expecting. This, however, is designed to go fast. This is exactly what I was looking for. Now, this bike is a prime example of a trickle-down effect from a bike brand with such expertise in creating fast bikes. It's low, it's aggressive, and it makes you want to go quick. Also, the carbon layup of this bike, I believe it's T700 carbon, which means it is slightly lighter, and you can definitely feel a difference between the two. I'm a big guy, you know, I'm 6'3", I'm 90 kilos. Realistically, it's probably not that much quicker between the two bikes, but the position this puts you in, the way it makes you feel on the bike, I have no doubt I will go quicker on this bike, 100%. I also think this bike feels a lot stiffer. The front end feels really planted. Once you get it up to speed and you set it on track, it just goes and it just wants to go and go and go. This bike, I've only ridden it for, I've probably done about 90, just under 100k on it now. I love this bike. This is so good. This is definitely the fastest bike I've ever had. This bike is rapid. Also, I do just want to say to all the new viewers, everyone that supported me over the last 6 months, I massively appreciate you being here and I massively appreciate all the support. We've just ticked over to about 1,300 subscribers. I actually just hit the threshold to monetize the channel. So thank you guys so much. I want to be completely transparent on this channel and, you know, keep you guys updated along the way. So my plan with it is to basically take any money that I make from ads, use that money to pay for a training camp over the winter period, maybe get out to Mallorca or something like that and really crank out some content for you guys. So yeah, again, really appreciate it. If you haven't subbed already and you're enjoying the content, definitely make sure to subscribe below. I'm not really sure what else to say about this, to be fair, other than that it's just sick. If there are any questions that you guys have, or you want to learn more about this bike or about the stuff that I'm doing, definitely drop a comment and I'll try my best to give you the answers that you're looking for. Apologies if this isn't the most in-depth review of this bike. I hope this gives you an idea of what this bike's all about. I'm going to leave it here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As I said before, if you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button, drop a like, and I'll see you next week.